challenge us.
Hey guys, we're here at the Red Carpet Ring, guys. We are here to talk about WWE SmackDown from Barcelona. Street Profits finally win tag team championships. Let's talk about it, guys. Get the likes as we come into the ring. We're going to talk more about it. We're going to go over SmackDown. We'll go over what happened on the show, everything. And we'll, of course, go over current events in the bonus round. Why WWE doesn't ever need to buy TNA. So let's tune into that. I got more to talk about that. I talked about the TNA thing before, but I'm gonna pretty much follow what I said before. But let's talk about it. Now, the match card, had championship gold going on, but a lot of stuff going on. Let's go over the first thing. All right, first thing we gonna talk about was a tag team match. We had first LA Knight come out with United States Gold. He did have Jimmy Uso coming out, not to congratulate LA Knight, but to challenge him to a match for the US Championship. Then we had Solo come out. Him and Jimmy had a good, back and forth. So there was a good opening segment of the show. And then next thing you know, we end up having all these guys start brawling out. And then Nick Aldis announced it would be Solo, Jacob, and Tama Tonga versus LA Knight, Braun Strowman, and Jimmy Uso. So very good tag team match. A lot of energy from both teams. Very good way to kick it off. The crowd was very, very into it. LA Knight, they definitely was rooting for him. Braun Strowman, of course, run the outside of Strowman Express. Everything. It ended up being LA Knight, Strowman, and Jimmy Uso getting the win over Solo, Jacob, and Tama Tonga. So that was the first match of the night. Let's go over the second match of the night. Now we had B-Fab versus Charlotte Flair. First time ever. It's not my best favorite match, but I see they're trying to showcase B-Fab more and pretty much give Charlotte an edge, make her look strong ahead of the WrestleMania match against Tiffany Stratton. So with that going on, it looked like B-Fab was getting some offense. It looked like she was getting in there. It was just it looked kind of awkward at times because B-Fab just don't have that much experience compared to Charlotte Flair. Meanwhile, Charlotte Flair ended up tapping B-Fab out, to the figure 8 leg lock. However, afterwards, Tiffany Stratton came out to attack Charlotte Flair. They was going at it, back and forth and everything, and that was broken up by officials. And then right before the MizTV and Cody Rhodes segment came out, these two were still going at it, so it adds more flavor to the rivalry between Tiffany and Charlotte Flair ahead of WrestleMania match. Speaking of which, let's go to MizTV. MizTV, now he had Cody Rhodes as a special guest, WWE champion. Cody Rhodes, he ended up, The Miz was already upset that they interrupted his segment with Tiffany and Charlotte still brawling. And then he said stuff about Cody that, unlike him, he defeated John Cena at WrestleMania years ago. And then he told Cody to hurry up. He don't have time for this. Cody came in, took him out, hit with the crossroads. And Cody told, Cena crowd that he said he don't want to talk to Miz or anybody else. He only wants to talk to John Cena. Next week, SmackDown's in, I believe it's in, I want to say Italy next week. And he expects John Cena to be there, and that was it of that, as far as that goes. So let's go over a couple more segments. Now we also had Jade Cargill. Now Jade Cargill, she had a segment. This is actually the first time we heard her speak. And it's the first time she spoke since the whole thing went down with Naomi attacking her. Having her, of course, admit to attack Jade Cargill months ago. Jade Cargill attacking her, not once but twice. First Elimination Chamber where Jade returned. And then last week on SmackDown, and Jade said a lot of things run through her mind, saying Naomi just hurt physically, but mentally, she couldn't believe that happened. Then we get Liv come out. Liv Morgan talks about, her and Raquel were blamed for what happened, and Jade Cargill said I had a lot going on. And long story short, Jade challenged Liv to a match next week, and it's official that we'll be going one-on-one next week. So this will be Jade's first singles match since she returned. But let's get on to the rest of the show, shall we? Now, we had a match here. Match here was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Damian Priest. We know Damian Priest, he's looking for Drew McIntyre backstage, and Shinsuke was laughing at Damian. Damian challenged him for a match. So these two went one-on-one in the match. However, it looked like Nakamura had early control on, but Priest rebounded, and he put the power and everything to him. He has momentum going. We know that Damian Priest put Shinsuke through the announce table. Then he brought him back in the ring for a crossbody from the top rope. But as Damian was going to close in, Drew McIntyre interferes. He shows up. The match ends in disqualification. Damian Priest wins by DQ. Drew, he went in on one. He took out Damian with steel steps, claymored him, everything. And of course, Drew had the smirk on his face afterwards. So that was wild. Next match on the card, we had Carmelo Hayes versus Randy Orton. It was a very good match. I know Carmelo tried to shake hands with Randy Orton, and Carmelo Hayes pulled it away. Very good heel thing by Melo, and Randy Orton immediately responded with an uppercut. But both of these guys are definitely going back and forth. Definitely going back. And Carmelo has some good. He had the first 48. He has some good offense going in. Very good offense. It looked like that Carmelo was trying to get close to beating Randy, but to no avail. And Randy Orton, of course, he came back. You know, Randy Orton, once he get going, you can't stop him. And he hit Carmelo with the RKO. And that was it. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Now, once he did try to hit Carmelo with a punt, Carmelo was pulled out by the Rainbows by Kevin Owens. And Carmelo, once he was out of the way, it was just Randy and Kevin going at it. So they definitely bring more to it. And the crowd was really behind the punch between Randy Orton and Carmelo Hayes, I want to add. So Barcelona, they definitely was behind it though. And I like the part in the match where Carmelo Hayes used a springboard DDT. So very good smooth match by Carmelo Hayes and Randy Orton. Let's get on to the next match of the show. We had a surprise. Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, came out. He was talking trash when he came to the ring. Surprise opponent was Axiom. Axiom, he put on quite a show. One half of the NXT Tag Team Champions. I saw Axiom was definitely giving Gunther some go. But at the end of the day, Gunther, he got him. And that was it. He in with the powerbomb. That was it. Now afterwards, Gunther, of course, when he wins, you know he cannot stop. Gunther has to put Axiom sleeper hold and everything, trying to make a statement. And afterwards, we saw Gunther speak to Jimmy Uso, saying, "You're the mature brother." He needs to tell him that Jey Uso still needs to hold off this WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 41. Even though we're less than about a month away from WrestleMania, Jimmy said, no, he's going to stand by his brother and everything. But very interesting. Now, we did get this vignette come up for, and this person there, rumors speculating that it could be Aleister Black. Could be, it's a possibility. We know he's set to return to WWE, and we know he is no longer with AEW. So, but definitely let's keep that in mind too. But let's get on to the main event. Main event for Tag Team Gold. We got DIY versus Street Profits. Great match. Ford and Dawkins, they were hungry, and they showed it. They used the size advantage. They had very good double team moves. They was giving it to DIY, but DIY would not go down easily. They would use their little sneaky anything heel thing they could to get over, and they still kept up the pace. But the crowd was really behind this match. I do like that. One thing I'm confused about with this here. Now the Profits, they've been listed as, they look like they were heels since they returned at Royal Rumble. 2 out of 3 falls match with DIY versus MCMG. But I know they was in Barcelona, but when they won that match, when Montez Ford hit that 5-star splash on Gargano to gain the victory, the crowd was behind them, and it didn't even seem like they were treated like heels. It sounded more like baby faces, if you guys remember.
Montez Ford from the heavens. Do we have new champs? Yeah.
So that was good. And yes, we got brand new tag team champions known as the Street Profits. I believe this is their 3rd time holding on to tag team gold. They haven't had on to it for a good 4 years, but definitely well deserved. I'm glad that they won. But other than that, though, that closed out SmackDown. That was the end of that show for that one. But definitely a good way to close out. I like how these guys work together. We almost forget that we haven't seen them in tag team gold in so long, but I'm glad that they have won it again. So congratulations to the Street Profits. They are your brand new WWE Tag Team Champions. So very good for that. I'm glad that they're the tag team champs. So congratulations to them and all the work that they put in, because it's well deserved. I'm so glad that they won. So that's a good thing. But other than that, though, guys, that was the end of SmackDown. I'm gonna go over my review right now, what I thought of the show. So let's check that out. All right. Talked about everything that happened on SmackDown. The recap, 4 out of 5. I think it was a very good, solid show. 4 out of 5. The crowd was really intense. It was behind everything, especially Profits, and especially behind the opener of the match, the tag team match, 6-man in here. So definitely good. You guys let me know what you think of SmackDown. But we got to go over what went wrong with SmackDown, and we'll go over that right now. I've been saying this before, and I'm going to say it again. I am tired of this Cody Rhodes segments toward John Cena. I'm actually more anticipating for John Cena to show up more than anybody else, because every episode, whether it's SmackDown or Raw, or every week on SmackDown, Cody Rhodes always got to say something about John Cena since he attacked him. So let him do it, and let's get this over with, please.
You know what's gonna happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
So yeah, hopefully that gets going. Another thing that went wrong as well, that I did not like here, that was a big issue on this episode. Charlotte Flair was trying to be Stephanie Walker with her own move. You remember this one point in the match? The match was lousy between B-Fab and Charlotte, no doubt about it. But if you guys follow NXT like I do, you guys saw that Charlotte did this one move, and it was really cringe.
It's underway here in Barcelona. Monday Night Raw will be in Brussels.
Too cringe for me.
You know what's gonna happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
Yeah, I did not like that. But those are 2 things I saw went wrong with SmackDown. Let's go to what went right with SmackDown. And let's state the obvious. Of course, we happy Street Profits. It's the tag team champions. Hopefully they get a real decent run. You know, it's the first time they've been champions under Triple H's booking. Hopefully Triple H do not, he books this right. He don't fumble the bag. But congratulations to the Street Profits once again. Yeet. So congratulations to the Profits again on that. Gotta give them their props on that. Another thing we saw that went right with the show, I still see it. I've been talking about this for a while. Jacob Fatu still on a tear. They're still building this man up. Expect Jacob Fatu to be in the WrestleMania main event in the next couple years. Expect Jacob Fatu to be United States champion in the next 6 months. They're going to do something big with him after this solo run is done. So that's great. That's a plus to my book.
Yeet.
So that's another thing I liked. Let's go to the next thing on SmackDown that went right. Liv versus Jade next week seems interesting because it seemed like, they really... I expect this match finish is Liv will beat Jade. It'll be disqualification. Naomi will interfere, and it'll be the first time she gets her hand on Jade since Jade attacked her twice now. But this will be good. It'll beef up the storyline between Jade and Naomi. So I'm a fan of that too.
Yeet.
So you guys let me know what you think of the whole Jade and Naomi. Because it's heating up. And we'll talk more about that too. Alright, so that's good for that next week. Alright, let's get on to next thing on the show. We're going to go to current news. Current news says that Lillian Garcia, this is her final time doing SmackDown as a full-time announcer. She actually announced this on her Instagram page. So let's talk more about that. She actually talked about this on her Instagram page.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh, what an incredible night. España, de verdad, ustedes fueron una maravilla. Barcelona, increíble. It was just absolutely incredible. And even though I'm an American, I actually grew up here in Spain. So it was just so exciting to be back. But I have some news. This was actually my last SmackDown as the full-time announcer. There's just a new era upon us. Things are being shifted around. However, I am going to Saturday night's main event on NBC and Peacock, so I'm very, very excited. I'm going to be singing at certain special events, and also I am working with the WWE on some new projects. So I invite you to follow me and just keep along this journey. It's a brand new chapter, and we'll see what happens. But this is home for me. I'm not going anywhere. I absolutely love the WWE, and you guys have been so incredible ever since I came back. Can't thank you enough for the welcome. So let's see where this goes. But I will be heading to Germany this weekend, so I'm so excited. Germany, Alemania, we're coming for you. All right, hope you make a lot of noise just like Spain did. We're so excited. All right, in the meantime, much peace, love, and passion to you. And you never know if I pop up on Raw or SmackDown whenever I'm needed once again. All right, so I love you guys, and just have a good night. We'll see you next time.
All right, that was Lillian Garcia. She go on her social media page to talk about it. But yeah, she's done with her run. But we'll see more what happens. At least she's still going to be around for that matter. So that's a good thing there. So it's good that she's going to be back. It's good that Lillian Garcia will be back. She'll still be around. But let's talk more about news here. We got to talk about Rikishi. Rikishi actually went on social media. He talked about the whole thing between Jade and the whole social media back and forth. She actually talked about this on... He actually talked about this on his channel. So we had an update from Rikishi. Let's see what he had to say. Now he went and talked about this yesterday. He talked about Jade Cargill, what she said about him on social media, the Jade and Naomi back and forth, his thoughts on that. Because he did the first one before I talked about, but here's an update here. So this will be an update from before.
Right now, your daughter-in-law has admitted that she was the one that attacked Jade Cargill. What are your thoughts right now?
Well, I'm baffled just like everybody else out there. I'm baffled, I'm hurt, I'm confused. I mean, I mentioned this last week, And, I posted up a photo of all four of us, on my page on Instagram. And, I love these girls, both girls, right? Unconditionally. But to see this happening in front of the whole world, man, I'm confused, and I feel like, I'm torn apart between the two from the friendship. What is it that a father can do to try to make this right amongst these ladies, damn near wanting to kill each other out there, And so, hey, I'm just like everybody else. Until I have yet got a chance to sit down and, I want to talk to both of them. I want to be able to sit down and, find out, like, we can meet at the Waffle House. We can meet wherever, you know what I mean? Somewhere where it's private, and kind of sit down and talk to him. And this is the reason why, I'm going to call out to all the fans out there. Because, there's got to be something behind something that would make this so-called, fight between the two that has come boiled up to being the most, talked about thing on the internet, besides my son being the, WrestleMania main event. So, I'm going to open up the phone lines. I think I want to do that every week until we can all try to figure out, what the hell has happened between Jade and Naomi.
Big Keish, we are going to get to a phone call right now, but before I get to that phone call, you said that you would like to sit down and talk to both girls. Well, one of those girls already has a message for you, and today, as a matter of fact, on Twitter, Jade Cargill tweeted, and I quote, "I don't give a damn." She tags you. I mentioned a playbook earlier, and let's gotta address the elephant in the room. Let's go back to 1999, Big Keish. My question, and I think a lot of other people's questions.
I already know what you're gonna ask me, Joey.
What's that?
Am I missing something here? Is this thing here is like heated up this bad to be able to call each other out like this? I had nothing to do with this thing here. And yet, you throw my name in this thing here. And so, at the end of the day, I'm going to get down to the bottom of this, find out exactly who was right and who was wrong. Because, it has to be something, or is it something that bad that you want to end each other's career? Is it something... is there, I don't know. I'm confused. Again, I'm hurt. I'm sad because I love both of these girls. Damn it. It's a beautiful thing to see young ladies, black excellence, to rise to the cream of the crop. And now here we go. Here we go again. We gonna go after each other. There was nobody else we can go against. So there's got to be a way where this thing needs to be fixed, and it needs to be finished with. This thing here has been, I was a very happy papa, very happy man. A couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, or however long when my son won the Royal Rumble. Right. Then to come from that big celebration to now, to this. This has come just as top of the news as everything worldwide. As these two best friends are now all of a sudden, did Bianca have something to do with it? I don't know. These are the questions that we all need to know, right? I don't know. Was there something happen between Bianca and, Naomi? Trent? Or is it something going on with Bianca and Jade against my daughter-in-law? I don't know.
I mentioned a playbook earlier, and let's gotta address the elephant in the room. Let's go back to 1999, Big Keish. My question, and I think a lot of other people's questions.
Yeah, I already know what you're going to ask me, Joey.
What's that?
And I did it for The Rock. That same thing, and because I see all these memes people put up, they got my picture, now they got my daughter-in-law's picture next to mine, like Papa, like daughter, like Papa, whatever the case may be. But you can't take what I've done from back in the day to, there's been a lot of progress amongst us people as minorities, as Samoans, as family. We in 2025. You got the best of the best of these three girls, Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. You got the best. And so there is no reason that I should be attached to, I can't help it. She's a part of my family. I'm happy of that. I embrace my daughter-in-law. But you can't throw what I've done there versus what she did. She I don't even think she watched wrestling back in the day. So how could she? The only way she can kind of you guys measure that up is by you guys that have watched this, what I've done back in the day against Stone Cold and The Rock. Okay, if you think that's how you want to measure up my daughter-in-law's actions of what she did, no, she's a smart girl. They all three smart. Every single one of those crew that was smart. So I don't even think that, I don't, for 1 second, again, it breaks my heart to see people, like we're talking about black excellence, women that are just at the top of the game, and they have won the hearts of so many wrestling fans throughout the world, not just in this country, throughout the world. These girls are role models. And to see a lot of people just start spraying, fire on top of, gasoline on fire.
All right, that was Rikishi speaking on the whole social media battle between Naomi, Jade, and Jade talking about Rikishi. But other than that, though, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about bonus round. All right, bonus round here. We're going to talk about why WWE doesn't need to buy TNA. So we're going to talk about it. Like I said, I talked about this before, but it's going to come up again. All right, we're going to talk about why they don't need to buy them. For one, WWE is already up with numbers on its own. WWE is already at an all-time high. They don't need to go any further than what they have to do. They've been hitting ticket sales, gate sales, all sold out arenas, sold out shows, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, NXT. They don't need to do that anymore. So I think with that going on, WWE can hold its own. It doesn't make sense for them to buy TNA, especially since they just had the merger done of being with TKO created that owns both WWE and UFC. So let's talk about some other reasons too. Another reason I would say too, TNA is doing well since its partnership. If you guys look, that they have a great partnership going. We see the TNA PLEs, the events, NXT is already partnered with them. We see that, so it's doing well. It does not need to do anything else. TNA numbers have gone up as well, just like NXT and WWE numbers have gone up. Now I know they have TNA Plus, a great subscription service similar to Peacock or the WWE Network. So they have that. But they don't need to be bought out by WWE. And I think the partnership is working well for both ends. If you look here, when it comes down to it, they don't need to merge. TNA has their own events, and they have NXT people coming at TNA events. We saw this recently with TNA Sacrifice. For the TNA Knockouts Women's World Championship, for Masha Slamovich champion defend against an NXT star, Cora Jade. We don't need to see that, you know. We see that with Genesis. We don't need to see that. So, and we used that NXT Roadblock, you know. So I think they're doing well with the merch. So it's helping them out. And like I said, TNA still have their own events that's doing well. TNA Bound for Glory, that was one of the best Bound for Glories ever in this past year. And this is their WrestleMania in Detroit. And they still have Slammiversary, another PLE for TNA that did well. Slammiversary is one of their big events of the year as well. So there's no reason for them to do that. I don't really see why they need to partnership. Now, I said before that WWE needs to purchase TNA, but they don't. And also because of that, WWE does not need to absorb TNA's contracts, employees, everything. They could just do a partnership. There's no reason for them to do that. All they have to do is just partner up, keep a good, healthy partnership, and I think they'll be fine. We see that. When we see these great events, Genesis, Sacrifice, Bound for Glory, there was NXT people there as well. Slammiversary, I don't think there's any NXT people there, but the partnership just recently got extended, and I think it's going to help everybody at the end of the day. Both companies are going to benefit well. This partnership was way better than the TNA and AEW partnership, way better. So there's no need for that. There's no need for that at all. No need for that. So I think this will be a great deal. And if they buy them out, I believe that if WWE buys out TNA, it's going to hurt them both instead of helping them. Because they'll hurt TNA because if you guys already know, if you don't follow TNA, about a good quarter or half of the people that was at TNA, they were former WWE talent. We got Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler. Ash Elgis, formerly known as Dana Brooke. We have Elijah, formerly known as Elias. The Colons. A lot of former WWE talent. So with the new WWE and the direction that it's going, they don't need the old talent. And if they buy TNA, they'll absorb the contracts. They'll get the library, but they'll absorb old people that they didn't need. And long story short, they'll end up releasing them for a second or a third time for that matter. So that will hurt both companies. And they already just went through the whole thing with TKO and being bought out by TKO, and they already with UFC. They don't need to tie another company to this name. WWE just got bought out, so it don't make sense. But that's my whole take on that. And I think that'll help everybody at the end of the day. And I hope the partnership never ends either. I hope it continues. WWE NXT, great partnership. It's a 1-2 combination. 1-2 punch combination. It's the best partnership I've seen of any two wrestling companies. Big company, small company, independent, don't matter. It's a great partnership. You can't beat that. And I think that's what WWE and TNA have embarked on, and they're going to continue to thrive. But that's all I have regarding that, guys. You guys let me know what you think. Do you think that WWE needs to purchase TNA? Yes or no? I would say no. I initially said yes, but now looking at it, how the partnership's been going on, how it's continuing, and how it's helping talent on both ends from TNA and NXT, there's no need for it. Check out the content here at Red Carpet Ring. Until then, guys, you already know what it is. It's OUT, and we talk about SmackDown from Barcelona. Street Profits finally win WWE Tag Team Gold. OUT.
Something happened this weekend. And I have been struggling with it since I retired. But this weekend gave me closure.
Wow.
It really did. Like, it was fun. Obviously, it was fun. I mean, you can't, doing this for as long as I have and